fundamentally because I think there's a massive social demand for change, and that's obviously reflected in legislative reform, but also in terms of the directions companies want to travel in. So we're tackling the issue in many ways. So Uniper is rich in engineering expertise. So one of the things we're doing, for example, is setting up a group which concentrates on energy efficiency projects. Now initially they was around power stations where we use the vast knowledge that we have to do things like improve performance. But that group has evolved into other things, so helping to build new facilities more efficiently. And the amazing thing is that group has hit a real rich vein in terms of our potential. And what we see is a lot of companies that actually really got it on the top of their agenda. So energy efficiency is certainly one of the things that customers demand. So engineering wise, there's a big tick in the box. And then from a commodity perspective, of course, we see massive change. We see that there's going to be a phase out of coal in Europe. Now, legislatively, that's going to happen over the next few years. Practically, it's happening today. The combination of low gas prices and high carbon prices effectively means there's very little generation taking place by coal. Instead, gas is filling the void. So gas is providing that stability to the system. It's having a dramatic impact in terms of carbon footprint, and it's also improving air quality. And if I was to go one step further and say globally, what we see is a proliferation of LNG, and that's a combination of new supply, but also technological advancement. So FSRU technology, these floating regasification units, allow very rapid deployment of gas in areas that beforehand it simply wouldn't have been possible. And consequently, we see a lot of coal-fired generation coming off the stack, we see a lot of oil-fired generation coming off the stack. And amazingly, in places like the Middle East, where you'd sit there and think oil is so cheap, there's no way that LNG can compete, it does. So that's having a real dramatic impact in terms of carbon emission. I think it means doing things better, doing things more efficiently. So a good example, our company has been in operation for decades. We've got vast experience of how to predict when there could be a problem. So one of the things that we've done, for example, is looked at data, created in terms of patterns of when you could actually predict that there could be issues. And now we actually go out and we sell that service to our customers. And we do it all around the world. And we give it a great title, Energylytics. So that's really taking advanced information, advanced technology, and applying the two things together to really get a better solution for our customers. And I think that's just one example, but in every single business line, the thing that amazes me every time I sit down with the leaders of those businesses, just how much is taking place in terms of really using data more efficiently and also using new ways of interfacing and communicating. And it's just meaning that we've got a far more efficient system, and that means it's beneficial, of course, ultimately to our customers because it's lower cost. The nice thing about Europe, it's not got destination restriction, so it's a free market, so anybody can sell the gas in Europe. And what we've seen lately is we've had a very warm winter in Europe, so prices are really low, but at the same time we've had all this additional LNG supply come online, and that's in combination with a very warm winter in Asia. So a lot of that new supply was meant to go to Asia, it simply hasn't happened, and instead it's gone to Europe. So Europe is enjoying 10-year low gas prices. Storage is at relatively high levels for this time of the year. Regas facilities are high level for this time of the year. So really Europe has taken on the role as the balancing market for LNG globally. There's a number of things that come together. So obviously decarbonisation is a massive theme, and the Paris Accords are still having impacts at company level everywhere. So I think everybody's looking how they can reduce the carbon footprint, how they can do that in a sensible period of time. So that's one theme. I think the second is just in terms of quality of air. You know, in countries that are emerging like India and China, clean air is very important because literally hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, are affected by that every year. So we see a push not just for decarbonisation, but for doing it in a way that actually also reduces emissions to the sky as well. And I would also remember that 2020 is going to be a momentous year in terms of the marine sector. It is the biggest global change that we've seen. where all ships will have to comply to IMO 2020, and they've got a choice of how they do that in terms of fitting scrubbers, buying the low fuel, or switching over to LNG. And that's going to have a profound effect, and it just shows you the power of regulation on a global level, and I think we'll certainly see that going forward. Then last but not least, the markets are interconnected from an energy perspective, but also from a political perspective as well. So the recent event in Saudi Arabia, seeing an increase in oil prices of 20%, they had a direct increase in gas prices in Europe, a direct increase in power prices in Europe. So to me, that says the health of the global economy is absolutely key. And I think what we wish for is certainly free trade everywhere, and for the whole economy to benefit from that. Things. First of all, it's fantastic to have so many counterparts in one place at one time. It's just incredibly efficient to meet such a diverse bunch of people in what is a very jammed and packed couple of days. I think the second thing is, it's great also with the conference in the background to hear about developments, new trends. And I think the third point of view from my perspective is just to hear about maybe the things that are starting to happen in a little bit of advance. And if I look around the room, it's great to see the energy in the room. It's great to see how this industry has grown so much in such a small space of time. And I think the organisers have done a terrific job of really getting such a diverse bunch of people together and really letting us feel firsthand just how much our industry has grown, rather than experiencing that maybe in our home office. So just glad to see everybody in one place.